The history of Azeroth is a tale of conflict and hope, of the Alliance and the Horde, of nightmarish threats and divine virtue. Tune in for the story of Malfurion Stormrage and Illidan Stormrage, an ancient legend of demonic legions and heroic mortals defying their will. Let us go back to the very beginning of Azeroth, before conflicts of orcs and humans, back to the ages when the continent of Kalimdor was still one landmass. Since the times unknown, grand beings we call Titans existed among the stars. A gathering called the Pantheon was the greatest of them all, and among them the greatest champion was chosen. His name was Sargeras, and he led the Pantheon with a benevolent purpose of purging evil from the universe, to bring order to the stars, and to ensure a safe future for races to come. Yet the everlasting burden did not pass unaffecting. During the millennia, Sargeras grew bitter, as the struggle seemed futile and never-ending. He thought, if the universe permits the existence of evil, it must be flawed. And so he thought that the only sure way to cleanse the cosmos was to destroy all there is and make anew. Once the purest of Titans, he then became the Lord of the Burning Legion, an army of demons set on the task of destroying life from all planets. The planet of Azeroth was blessed at its birth by the Titans, but soon enough it became home of evil presences we call the Old Gods. Along with the elemental lords they enslaved, they scorched and tortured the land in never-ending conflict. The Titans, disturbed by their vile acts, waged war against those who dared to infect the land. Although it was a terrible task, one by one they managed to banish the Old Gods from the physical world. With the world again in harmony, the Pantheon shaped and formed the land. To help them in this duty, they created giants, earthens, dragonflights, to name just a few. Furthermore, in the midst of the continent, they created a lake full of magic energy. Named the Well of Eternity, the lake nurtured all life, and soon the land blossomed with vitality. Before their departure, they charged 5 majestic dragons, now known as the Dragon Aspects, with the responsibility of guarding Azeroth during Titan's absence. We don't know exactly how Night Elves came to be, however some suggest that it was a tribe of dark trolls who found the Well of Eternity, and due to its magic became a new race altogether. Kaldoray, as they would call themselves, or Children of the Stars, would then dwell about the enchanted lake, and draw its power for their own measures. With support of its energy, they dominated the continent of Kalimdor. Those among them who were exceptional in handling these powers soon ruled over the Dominion. However, there was one figure truly extraordinary, Elven Queen Asara, golden-eyed beauty, and an incredibly powerful spellcaster. However beloved by her subjects she was arrogant, selfish, and utterly bored with life that seemed unable to offer anything of interest. And so Asara began to search for perfection in the Well of Eternity itself. There was a mage in her court, a cunning elf called Xavius. It was him who first heard whispers of Sargeras. In his plan to dominate his queen, he introduced Asara to the fallen Titan. But she, seeing in Sargeras a being of absolute power, finally a partner worthy of her, came up with her own idea. She set out a plan to summon Titan himself, and with his assistance reshape the world to her own liking. Not every elf trusted Asara so utterly. Two promising brothers, Malfurion Stormrage and Illidan Stormrage, noticed how detached was the queen from her people and began to question her actions. They both studied magic of druidism, previously non-existent in Night Elf society, under tuition of an ancient being called Cenarius. It was Illidan who was supposed to be destined to be a powerful druid, but he showed little interest in this matter. While Malfurion excelled at the druidic magic, his ambitious brother was far more interested in the arcane. Then Asara finally opened the portal, and so has the invasion of the Burning Legion started. The War of the Ancients has begun. Demonic armies had attacked 11 cities, and a resistance was formed. Malfurion, Illidan, and a woman called Tyrande Whisperwind, beloved of both brothers, fought restlessly against the invaders. Soon, they were joined by Cenarius and other ancients, by dragonflights, and by dragon aspects themselves to help banish the demons. Not only has the opening of the portal summoned the Burning Legion to Azeroth, it also harnessed the power of the Well of Eternity, and by such rendered arcane magic inaccessible to elves. This was a true disaster for Illidan, jealous of his brother for his power and love of Tyrande. While Illidan always thought of himself as the chosen one, destined for greatness, and certainly was one of the greatest mages on Azeroth, it was now him who was nearly ripped of his power. He decided to take drastic steps to stay relevant. He became a demon hunter and used the power harvested from their deaths to help him kill even more demons. Later, in the heart of a terrible battle, the unimaginable has happened. Neltharion, the dragon aspect of Earth, who has been working on a powerful weapon, has succumbed to the maddening whispers of evil old gods. He named himself Deathwing, turned the weapon on his own allies, on his fellow dragon aspects, and so the dragonflights were broken and forced to quit the fight. After this terrible loss, Malfurion came up with the plan of destroying the Well of Eternity itself, and thus putting an end to the invasion. This terrified Illidan, who knew that it would mean an end to arcane magic altogether, in which he saw the future of Night Elves. He wanted to defeat the Burning Legion, but to leave the well as it is, and so he desperately searched for a way to do so, before Malfurion could destroy arcane magic. In his misery, he turned to Sargeras himself, deceiving him into believing he was a new convert for their cause. He managed to gain access to Deathwing's dreadful weapon he sought for, but paid a terrible cost. Sargeras has carved out Illidan's eyes and replaced them with blazing orbs that could see only magic. By that time, Illidan was under demonic influence to the point of forfeiting his original intent, and gave the device to Queen Asara's forces. When Malfurion and Tyrande finally clashed with their enemies, Illidan was nowhere to be found. In fact, he was collecting water of the well to magical vials in a final attempt to save some of its power. Malfurion's forces fought against Queen Asara's and won. They managed to close the portal just in time when Sargeras was crossing it, and it has exploded horribly, trapping the fallen titan within itself. The energy shattered the continent of Kalimdor, and in the place of former Zin Ashari, city of Queen Ashara, there emerged a vortex now called Maelstrom. This is known as the Sundering, the event that has changed Azeroth uttermostly. Afterwards, Illidan managed to infuse a lake atop Mount Hyjal with the waters collected from the former Well of Eternity. With memory of the tragedy still fresh, Malfurion and Tyrande consulted remaining dragon aspects, and together they decided to safeguard this well rather than destroying it. For his actions, Illidan was imprisoned for thousands of years. Queen Asara and her people turned into Naga, underwater creatures, and would remain hidden from the surface world for ages. Soon after, Malfurion slumbered into the Emerald Dream, realm of Ysera, to help rebuild the world. Tyrande, left behind by her lover, ruled over the Night Elves for centuries to come, until the Orc invasion shattered the peace. So I hope you liked the show. It was my first audio video thing I've ever done, so bear with me. If you liked the video, please give a thumbs up, it will support the show tremendously. Right now I'm working on a website at thefiresideshow.wordpress.com, check it out, it will be up soon. And I want also to put this out in a podcast form, and also soon. So, see you next time.